Let me ask you a question. What if you could build your entire digital world? We're talking servers, databases, the whole shebang with just a single text file. Well, today, we're going to dig into Terraform, the tool that takes that wild idea and makes it a reality. It's all about moving from that chaotic, manual way of doing things to a world of automated, controlled creation.
And let's just start right here. This quote from a developer in the trenches, it perfectly captures the insane shift we're talking about. I mean, think about that. 8 hours down to 30 minutes. You're not just saving a little time, you're fundamentally changing how you work. That is the power we're unlocking here.
So what's that old way of doing things? Oh, it's got a name, all right? We call it ClickOps. And you've probably been there. You log into AWS or some other cloud provider and you just start clicking and clicking and clicking. You're navigating through dozens of menus, filling out forms, and the whole time you're just praying you didn't miss a single checkbox. It's slow, it's so easy to make a mistake, and trying to do it at scale? Forget about it. There has to be a better way, right?
Well, of course there is, and it all comes from this huge shift in mindset, a really simple but powerful idea. What if we treated our infrastructure, all our servers, our databases, our networks, what if we treated it just like we treat our software? And that idea right there is the birth of infrastructure as code.
So instead of building everything by hand with IaC, you write a blueprint. Yep, a literal blueprint for your entire digital world, all captured in a simple text file. Now, think about what that really means. All of a sudden, your infrastructure can be version controlled, it's repeatable, it's automated. I mean, this is an absolute game changer for speed and for reliability.
Now, right about now, you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute, what about tools like Ansible or Chef? That is a great question, because the difference here is absolutely crucial. Think of it like building a house. Terraform is the master builder. It takes the blueprint and builds the actual structure, the foundation, the walls, the roof. That's your servers and networks. Ansible, well, that's the specialist who comes in after the house is built to install the software, tweak the settings, and deploy your apps. They work together. Terraform builds the house, Ansible furnishes it.
Okay, so now we know where Terraform fits in the grand scheme of things. Let's peel back the curtain a little bit and look at the simple but really powerful ideas that make it all tick.
First up, the language it uses is called HCL. And the magic of HCL is that it's declarative. What does that mean? It's simple. You don't write a long step-by-step script telling Terraform how to do everything. No way. You just describe the final destination. You say, I want a server this big and a database with these settings. That's it. Terraform is smart enough to figure out the best route to get you there. You just tell it what you want, not how to do it. So how does it talk to all these different systems? Through something called providers. Honestly, the best way to think about them is like universal travel adapters. You've got a provider for AWS, another for Azure, one for GitHub, even for things like Kubernetes. With over 3,000 of these things available, you can pretty much manage your entire tech stack using this one tool. And it all comes together in this beautiful, simple, and safe 3-step dance. You're going to do this over and over. First, you write. You create that blueprint we talked about. Then, and this part is key, you plan. Think of this as a free preview. Terraform shows you exactly what it's about to do, what it's going to create, change, or even destroy without actually touching a thing. It's an amazing safety net. And finally, when you've looked it over and you're happy, you apply. You give the green light, and Terraform makes it all happen. All right, enough theory. Theory is great, but seeing is believing, right? Let's walk through a super simple but really powerful real-world example to see how this all comes together. Okay, so here's our mission. We have the files for a basic portfolio website, an HTML page, an image, and we want to get it live on the internet, hosted on AWS. And we want the whole thing to be automated. So to make this happen, our Terraform code just needs to declare a few key pieces. We need an S3 bucket, which is really just a place to store files in the cloud. We need to tell that bucket to act like a website. We need to tell Terraform what files to upload. And critically, we need to set the right permissions so that the whole world can actually see our new site. And the result? We run one single command, Terraform apply. And in the time it takes me to say this sentence, about 3 seconds, Terraform does everything. It connects to AWS, creates the bucket, configures it, uploads the files, and poof, the website is live. Remember that 8-hour manual process? This is what we're talking about. 3 seconds.
I mean, with that kind of speed and reliability, it's pretty easy to see why Terraform has become an industry standard, right? Companies like GitHub, Slack, Pinterest, they all rely on it. So what's the secret sauce? What really makes it win?
It really comes down to 3 things. First, it has state management. It keeps a record of everything it builds, so it always knows what to change. It's like its memory. Second, there's a huge and super active community. This means you can find documentation and providers for almost anything you can think of. But the real killer feature, the one that sets it apart, is its multi-cloud support. You can learn one workflow and use it to manage your stuff on AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, pretty much anywhere. You're never locked in.
Okay, let's wrap this all up. If you only remember one thing from this explainer, I want it to be this. You see, Terraform isn't just a tool, it's a philosophy. It's a way of thinking. It lets you take your complex, sprawling, messy infrastructure and distill it down into a single, simple, readable blueprint. And that blueprint makes a level of speed, collaboration, and reliability possible that was just unimaginable back in the days of ClickOps. It makes us ask a bigger question. We're not just thinking about what we're building, but how we can build it better, faster, and more predictably every single time.